welcome back to Set Apart Podcast. I'm Drew.
And I'm Derry.
And today, and I know we've been gone for a little bit, but today we're going to be talking about entrepreneurship and mental health. And
Yes.
Derry, do you want to explain to our audience maybe why we haven't been posting as often?
I think it's all about what Andrew just said, bringing that entrepreneurship lifestyle and how that's affecting, our mental health. And so trying to be as active as we can, we have work, we have other life obligations.
Yeah, if you want to put it that way.
Put it that way. And so we've been totally busy. As you guys know, I've mentioned a little bit in the previous episodes. I was in a play,
Yep.
and then having a full-time job was just I
It could
I
take a
loved it.
toll.
Yeah, it was just stressful.
Yeah, and before we get on with our topic, though, I'm just want to be very clear. We're not saying that entrepreneurship is bad and you shouldn't pursue entrepreneurship ventures. We're just trying to explain how it takes a toll on you when you don't have the correct work-life balance when it comes to
That
entrepreneurship.
timing. Yeah.
So we're going to talk a little bit into that, but overall, I think that entrepreneurship overall is a great thing for people to venture into, just because you get to enjoy being your own boss. You get to do the standard, like, okay, I'm going to live out my dream. I'm going to be
Right.
able to work on something that really matters to me and I'm passionate about. And I would say that entrepreneurship really has changed our lives as young adults in the world. So, Derek, what do you think entrepreneurship, like in terms of the pros, what can it do for a young adult?
I think it can give you stimulation in an area of your mind where you thought you couldn't do all the things that you're supposed to do. You thought you couldn't accomplish all the passions that you have and all the goals and ambitions that you have. And so being that I am doing honestly everything I'm passionate about,
Yep.
I'm doing
Yep.
it, and it's a blessing, and sometimes it could be stressful. I'm not going to say it's a curse, because it's not, but it makes me feel like on one end I'm doing everything that God is calling me to do, and then on the other end I'm like, I'm stressed, or
Mhm.
sometimes I have no time for friends or family or even us sometimes.
Yeah. Yeah. And sometimes that could also play into your mental health as well, just because, when you're spending time away from family and friends and you're usually, you're used to having that kind of attention, and having that kind of attention can be a stress reliever just because you're able to, interact with the people that are closest to you.
Yeah, I think one of the things that I'm learning right now is that as an entrepreneur, like, I need a stress reliever. Like, I need to work out, or I need to pray, or go on walks, because honestly, I'm stressed all the time, right? Because I'm trying to accomplish all my goals. I have a deadline for all my goals. I'm building a career path. I'm thinking about going back to school. Like, I'm doing everything that I'm passionate about. But the one thing I'm forgetting to do is take care of myself.
Yeah.
Like, I'm eating like crap. I'm not gonna lie. I'm eating
That'll
like
do
crap.
it to you when you're trying to move fast.
Yeah, right, because it's like, okay, I'm even working during my lunch sometimes.
Yeah. Yeah. And you always try to think, okay, how can I get this done as fast but as good as possible? Like, you want it to be done fast, but you also want it to have quality to your work.
Exactly.
Yeah. And so I can definitely relate to you on that, just because I feel like I'll be spending hours, on the computer trying to get our episodes out at times, just because
Right.
I like to listen to it at least about 3 to 4 times before I just release it, because I don't want it to have any surprises if I just release it how it is.
Right. No, and that comes with hard work. You want quality in what you do, and I want quality in who I am as a person.
Yeah.
And so I think for me, I'm my biggest critic. I will get on myself faster and more harder than anyone else.
Yeah.
And so being an entrepreneur and being that person who, I guess you can say, I'm an independent woman, in a way. Um, it's hard, and no one told me like it was going to be easy, but like no one said that you're going to have sleepless nights. No one said that you're going to overthink or feel depressed, or I mean just all those things that come with success that people
Yeah.
don't see.
And honestly, that's what really makes or breaks a great entrepreneur in whatever field that they're in. Being able to overcome those battles, you're not always going to win, right? Because sometimes the day will just get the best of you, and I think that's where people got to realize that that's okay.
Mm-hmm.
That sometimes you're going to have bad days, and even if you do, just give yourself some grace and just say, okay, well, at least I did something that is helping me move farther along the path that I have set to reach my goal.
Yeah.
You can't always beat yourself down on it, because yeah, you may have had a better work week last week than this week, but at the end of the day, it's all part of the process of you trying to be great and doing whatever it is that you're passionate about.
For sure, for sure. And like I think about not to call anyone out, I think about laziness too.
Yeah.
Right? Like cuz I mean, for example, I'm going to call myself out. Like today I kind of didn't feel like recording.
Nope.
But it wasn't because I don't love our podcast. I do. I love what we do. I love podcasting. I love talking with you guys, but I just was like out of it today.
Yeah, and that's also where I think it's nice when you go into business with someone. We're still a couple. We're still, very much involved with each other's lives, but we are also business partners. And I think that
Yeah.
when you go into business with someone, especially when it's like your partner, you have that extra emotional support. And I applaud all the entrepreneurs that are literally on their own trying to figure this out. They're like a one-man show trying to get to where they're trying to be. So
Exactly.
but and I'm not saying that it's going to be easier with someone. It's just knowing that you have that support system does help. So finding people that support you overall is something that's going to keep you going, because when someone believes in your product or you believe in each other as business partners, that's when you realize, okay, if I stop now, that would be a very selfish move for me to do, because someone out there believes I can do it.
If you had to give someone some advice about trying to become an entrepreneur or trying to build a business or just trying to chase their dreams and what they're passionate about, what's the top 3 advice? Like what would you give them as far as advice, and name like 3 different things that you would tell them?
Yeah, so I guess for me, I would say try to find a circle of people, or it doesn't have to be a whole lot of people. Just find at least 1 to 2 people that have the same mindset as you in terms of achieving your goals and dreams, so that, like I said, you'll have that support system. When things get hard, you can go to these people if they really are for you, right? You can go to these people and they will help you kind of guide yourself out of that mindset of when things get bad.
Mm-hmm.
So I think having that support system is great. I think doing your research for a second thing, right? Doing your research on what it is that you're trying to be passionate about. I won't tell you not to do something. If you really want to sell paper clips, right?
Right.
You want to be the best paperclip salesman of all time. Go ahead, do it. Just try to do your research on how are you going to set yourself apart from the rest of the competition.
Come on now.
So
put it in the name.
I had to plug ourselves. So yeah, no, just try to do your research so that you are the number one person that knows exactly how to put yourself apart from the competition. And I guess the last thing is, which is honestly kind of corny, but it's so true, is try to do something that you love. Find something that you're passionate in.
Exactly.
Find something that you're good at and that you enjoy doing, and go from there. Because if you have something that you love doing and it can make you money, like money isn't everything, but you're obviously doing it to live a whatever lifestyle you want.
Right, a stable life. That's another line of income.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then do it. But if you love it, and even if it doesn't work out some days, you know that you love it, so you're going to continue to do it, because you would be doing it even if it made you $0.
I mean, that advice was was on point. If I could add to that list, I would tell someone to write your ideas down.
Yes.
Like, we have so many great ideas, but it will come to life once you put it on paper.
Mm-hmm.
And like from there, once you put it on paper, then more ideas will start to add to that broader idea, and it will expand, you know? But yeah, write it down. And also, like, have a goal, have goals, you know, have goals of how you're going to expand whatever that idea is every month. And it could be little by little. It doesn't have to be like big plans, you know?
Yeah. I mean, I have something that I could like kind of combat your idea with, but it's kind of like how you said writing down your goals, right? The number one thing I heard all, major entrepreneurs say is to dream big. And even if you think that right now that goal isn't achievable, still write it down, because when you are putting yourself in charge of your own project and you're giving yourself a deadline that seems realistic, maybe move that deadline up a few months, because the longer time you give yourself, the longer you have excuses and days where you're like, well, I'll finish that like in a year when I said I was, and you're going to give yourself more opportunity to miss out on what you're trying to do.
Right.
So, give yourself quote unquote unrealistic goals and surprise yourself. You never know if you're hauling ass for like 6 months and you're supposed to have this like project done in a year, and you actually do complete it before that year, then you're going to feel not only achieved, but you're going to show yourself, hey, I can create and produce something that, I never thought of doing.
Yeah. I mean, that's I feel like that needs to be told to people a lot every day.
Yeah.
Is to continue on, dream big, because a lot of people don't pursue their dreams because they think it's not reachable. They think it's not obtainable, but truly it is if you work for it.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's just the thing. Like, people say, oh, people tell you all the time, if you work for something hard enough, you'll get it. And then, yeah, but you have to also realize that working hard for someone may be different than the next guy. Like, working hard is only as hard as you want to work.
Yeah.
So
there you go.
If you feel like you want to take a day off, by all means do it. But the longer you give yourself to do something, it's going to be that much farther away.
And then that also ties into mental health, because as young people, we're working hard, but then I'm also lacking stability in how to take care of myself, Yeah. Like, I'm working hard, but then I'm also like, okay, I just got like 4 hours of sleep. Like, how am I going to continue on with working at a high level if I don't take care of myself? So it's like, for me, I'm learning how to have like mental days off.
Yeah. Yeah.
Where like I go out and I do something to stimulate my brain.
There was a guy that in college, right? That Big Dave.
Oh yeah, I know Big Dave. Shout out to Big Dave.
Shout out Big Dave. But he would always be on the radio saying, remember, no matter what you do in life, give yourself at least 1 hour a day to yourself. It could be, working on a project, could be playing video games, could just be something stimulating to your mind. Like, just give yourself that 1 hour a day to just kind of reset.
Right.
And I don't know what it is for you, but, just figure out what that is, and you should be in good shape, just because when you give yourself that hour, that means that you are trying to, stop and think to take care of yourself.
For sure. For sure. Wow, Big Dave has some big words.
Well, he didn't say all that. He just said the 1 hour. I was just kind of going off of what he said. So
okay, you and Big Dave coming through with the big quotes.
Well, he's a big role model.
Okay, we're gonna go with this big.
Yeah. Big Five. Not sponsored.
No, I mean, this right here. I mean, this is my stress reliever. I mean, the podcast that we have, talking with you guys, and even though we're not able to like hear you guys or listen to anything that you have to say back, because it's just the two of us, we still see you.
But we do got a comment section.
We do.
So go down in the comments and say something.
Say something. Look, talk to us.
This is what I want. I want you to, if you are listening to this and this point in time, I want you to write down in the comments, what is an entrepreneurial journey that you're trying to strive for or that you're already on.
Right.
And tell us, what are some of the biggest problems that you have faced when it comes to, overworking, or when it comes to whatever project you're working on, like just give us that kind of insight, because we want to know if our, insight on entrepreneurship is aligning with you, or if not, when we come across it, it'll help us out too.
Yeah. And also with that, also think about today how you're going to stimulate your mind. How are you going to take care of your mental health? That's what I want you guys to think about today, because it's very important to take care of your mental health.
But yeah, I think based off of that, that's about what we wanted to say, right, Derry?
Yeah, I mean, everything was said. It feels good to be back. We apologize to you guys for being gone for so long. We keep saying it, but we keep saying, "Oh, we're not going to do this again. We're not going to do this again." But for real, you guys, we are hard workers.
And to give you guys a little bit of insight on our end, for what it's worth, right? We are working on some big projects right now, just because we want to make sure that our podcast is always elevating and giving you the best quality for your viewers or viewership. So,
right, exactly.
We appreciate all those that listen to our episodes, that are, subscribed to us on YouTube, and, the podcast page, where we distribute to Apple, and all the other big podcasting websites. It's coming soon. So just stay tuned. It's a pain to set up, but, we're going to get it through.
We will be on all podcasting platforms soon. But thank you guys for all your patience and your support and your love. We thank you. And yes, make sure you be set apart today.
Yes. And don't forget to follow us on Instagram, @setapartpodcast_. And Derry, do you want to say your handles?
Yes. So Snapchat is going to be _Derry27, and Instagram is going to be Derry_Productions.
Yes. And then for me, Snapchat is going to be AndrewMartin380. Instagram is going to be DrewMartin51. And with that being said, I think that's it. That's a wrap.
That's a wrap.
All right. Stay set apart. Peace.